Minecraft's recent update added a long-awaited archaeology system, and for a lot of players it was disappointing. All you can get from it is some basic loot like gunpowder, emeralds and TNT blocks, and the only unique items are pottery sherds. It was simply not enough for our community. These pots are cool, but it won't even fit everywhere, so these developers created a whole mode to improve the archaeology system. Let's start with the part I like the most: new structures such as this one. As you can see in this ruins, there's a new pot that drops items if you punch it, similar to pots from other games, and chests usually have good items for you. Sometimes it spawns above the ground, so be careful using your brush. Sometimes you might find a camp in your forest, and if you go inside then you'll find a villager with a new profession, archaeologist. He uses this new archaeology table as his workstation, but we'll talk about this thing later. This villager can give you rotten planks, which is a whole new dark wood set with all the blocks you need. You can also buy an iron brush and new decorative ancient vases. I think these look better than vanilla pots. Then there's a diamond brush, and it's time to show you why. Let's dig an item with an iron brush, then with the diamond brush. As you can see, the new brushes are faster and their durability is higher. Cool. Don't worry, you don't have to find a villager for these items. Even the new table is craftable, but you need ancient shards. This is how it looks when you right-click it. But again, let's save it till the end of the video. The camp we've just seen can spawn in Badlands biome and in a desert biome too. This structure is called a desert obelisk, and it has a few suspicious blocks around it. The obelisk itself doesn't have anything in it. Mesa ruins. That's how the first big dungeon from this mode is called. It has a main room with lots of pots you can break for the loot, and sometimes it drops ancient shards that you'll need in the future. First room has a spawner of husks and chests where you can find trims and other useful items. In another room there's a second mob spawner and an unfinished wither boss that looks pretty creepy. Oh, and another chest. There might be some suspicious sand I haven't noticed, but honestly I have no idea. This broken house is made out of the wood I showed to you earlier, and you can find it in your world too. Reminds me of some sort of swamp hut, but darker and bigger. This is new suspicious start you shouldn't miss while visiting this house. Who knows, maybe you're luckier than me. I don't have much to say about these ruins, but even if it looks too messy and broken, exploring it is pretty fun. I love the diversity that this mode provides. The next structure is Grassy Stonehenge. This is one of my favorites, even if it looks small. It's just a cool place to dig up your treasures. Why Mojang decided to add just one structure. New jungle temple looks like this. If you run around it you'll notice that there's no way to enter this structure. That's because you need to go up. Here you'll find a new villager fossil skull, and you can see that it's only the first part. This is the hardest dungeon of this mod just because of different traps. This one is unique and can quickly kill you. Be careful. Here's a clip of me being stupid. If you find a zombie spawner then you should grab this second part of the fossil. I won't show you every room because there's simply too much to show, but it's a structure worth visiting. Some rooms have really good items. Let's get back to the surface and combine the fossils in our inventory. Now you have a creepy statue you can place in your base. That's not the only fossil in this mod, but again I'll show them later. Another simple structure, but this one is hiding something. You might notice it at first, but if you dig down you'll discover a secret place with two chests where you can find trims and enchanted books. Oh, and also places when you can use your brush. Of course, oceans have some new stuff too. You might find new ruins underwater with pickles and chests. In the second variant of this structure I found a new totem. There are two new totems in this mod, but before showing how to use it, look at all the variants of this underwater building. Perfect spot to mention that you can support the developers by downloading their mod, and you can support me by leaving a comment down below. One more structure I almost missed is this broken dark house. Nothing interesting in it. Moving on. Actually no, I'm joking. There are new blocks you probably haven't seen before. If you use your brush on them you might dig up villager fossils you've already seen, but there are structures for other fossils. Let's move to them. A few rocks and a tree. Simplest place to dig. Here's a chicken fossil that you can get here. Looks like chickens have changed since ancient ages. One thing I've noticed while editing is that I have a slow falling effect for some reason. I assume the fossil gives it to you. Looks like someone's dirt house was blown up. It's not hard to guess what fossil you might find here. Of course it's a creeper. This one has particles around it. This one is simple too. There are not a lot of mobs in the jungles. This is an ocelot fossil. While I'm getting the final one, let me know what fossil is your favorite. Here's a sheep fossil that play a random horn sound when you right-click it. We're coming closer to the archaeology table, but first let me tell you about new totems. Totem of Torrents is like flying with a trident but without the trident. Use it and you'll perform a dash. Amazing for making long jumps, and it deals damage to entities. Totem of Souls damages a creature and gives you health. If you're good at combat and you have no time to eat when you're fighting, using this totem might be one of the best options for you. Look how easy and fun it is right now. This is what Mojang should have added in the update. It's time for you to learn why I've said to collect ancient shards, and that's because you can craft unidentified artifacts. Now it's not too hard to guess that to identify them you need an archaeology table. Just put your brush and artifacts and then wait for the new type of enchantments. There are 3 new artifacts: Soaring Winds, Penetrating Strike, Tunneling. First one is an enchantment for the elytra. Flying using them is almost impossible if you have no fireworks, but with this artifact you'll get a small boost every time you open them. If you're a good player you'll definitely like this one. Penetrating Strike is mostly for PvP players since its main goal is to partly ignore a protection enchantment when hitting your enemy. I think mining tunnels is a common thing in Minecraft, and with the final enchantment you'll be able to break 2 blocks instantly, which is basically doubling the speed of mining. I've not covered some other features like bombs, but since it's a mod about exploration I think it's better to let you discover it for yourself.